hit in the face.
You got hit in the face.
I got hit in the face with a 9mm.
With a 9mm.
So as soon as they seen my head come up, they fired. I got hit. My head hit the back window, and I heard it shatter, but my mind told me the bullet flew through my head and shattered the window.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Pastor Brian from Chapel of Change, and we are excited to be sharing with you this video. Got some very inspirational content to share with you. But before I get into that, I want to remind you of a couple of things. One, we're doing our window replacement for our Paramount campus. We're replacing all the windows in our effort to beautify this building. And so we're asking for people to sponsor either one window or half a window. If you're able to do that, it's $500 per window or half a window at $250. You can give at www.chapelofchange.org. There's an opportunity to partner with us if this ministry has blessed you. Secondly, get ready for our revival in October. We're going big, and we want everybody to be a part of our revival October. Look at our website for details, www.chapelofchange.org. Now, I'm super excited to share with you this brother's story, Brother Art Martinez. What's up, Brother Art?
God is good. God is good. How you doing, Pastor?
Good. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your story with us today.
All for his glory, right?
Hey, start off by, how did you come to Chapel of Change? Share with us, how did you make your way here?
Wow. I'll try to nutshell that one. Long story short, a friend of mine told me, hey, I've been wanting to go to church. I think there's this girl there that likes me. So we go to the Long Beach when it was in the auditorium at the school. I wanted to come and hear the word. Little did I know that you would be the one to be preaching, because prior to this, through a series of very unfortunate events, my wife had went through very dark things. I got her connected to a women's group, and Sister Shannon Schultz gave her your CD. So I had your CD of your testimony in rotation in my car.
Wow.
And when I heard you preaching that day at the auditorium, I recognized the voice. So then shortly after that, coincidentally, we have a sale going on for Pastor Brian's books. Pastor Brian had put on Facebook, you wanted to get donations for Juvenile Hall. I believe it was Los Padrinos.
Yes.
And I said, hey, I'll donate. And I donated. Pastor Brian, good as what he does when he's scoping the people out on Facebook, he says, hey, I see that you're not too far from our church. Why don't you come and visit? So we came in February of 2016, and we never left.
Wow. How the Lord connects the dots in His providence and makes a way for us to be connected. And so I wanted to highlight just two things out of your story. You have a long, powerful story. The Lord has brought you through a lot.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just create a window into like two moments. One is when you got shot by the police department. What set that up? What was going on in your life at that time? I've always had that repetitive in and out of incarceration behind addiction, like a lot of people. And I had actually been just released from Wayside Minimum Yard. Okay, minimum. I was in Wayside Supermax before.
Yeah. So it was actually my first sentence to the LA County Jail for sales to an undercover officer.
Oh.
They set me up. It wasn't a real sales, but it stuck. I plea bargained. And I got out, I believe, February 11th or February 12th. And 8 days later, my son, my firstborn child, had just been born while I was incarcerated.
You have a son?
I have a son. I have a son that's 33 years old.
33 years? That's almost as old as me,
Come
bro.
on
What
now.
you talking about?
Yeah, he's older than my wife.
What? I didn't even know you had a son.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that another
so what happened?
time. So I got out, and the only thing that I wanted to do was be able to see my son. The mother didn't want me to see him, and I did what addicts do best, that make a lot of promises and don't know how to keep them. I started getting high again. And 8 days later,
What were you getting high off of?
I was smoking crack at that time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Crack,
that was in my crack era. You know what I mean?
Yeah, crack was no joke.
I elevated levels to levels, but you know what I mean? I did methamphetamine and I also smoked crack, but crack was the one that had me in the bondage. Crack was what turned me into Jesse James, right? Had me robbing everything. But on this night, I met someone that wasn't from my neighborhood. He happened to be kicking it at somebody's house, you know, like we do when we're in our addiction. And he had a car, and I had an opportunity. And I said, hey, take me over here to the Wilmington Projects, enemy territory, right?
You're going into the Wilmington Project.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, when you're in addiction, you don't think about all those things. You think you're invincible, and you only have your focus on getting high.
Was there peace at that time?
Absolutely not.
There was no peace at that time?
Absolutely not.
How in the world, anyways, how in the world? So I grew up in part in on the west side of Wilmington on McDonald by the projects. My family actually moved into the projects when it was military many years ago.
Okay.
But I grew up, at least in the 12-year-old, 13-year-old era, where there was all-out warfare and people were getting kidnapped and tortured. Right? And that's part of like the background of my story, hearing those stories. But your neighborhood and their neighborhood were like at the center.
Yes.
And so you're saying you're going to the projects?
Well, you got to understand, you know, when we get into that, you know, county jail, elevated to that upgrade, you're not thinking on that level. I had a homie that had just got out right before me from Wilmington.
So the county jail mentality is kind of kicking in at this time.
I'm going to go meet up with the homie from Wilmas. I know he's a dope dealer, and I'm going to go and get some, right? But that's what my mind was telling me. And now right before we were going to go, a female pulls up where we were at in my neighborhood in Harbor City. And 2 birds with 1 stone. We can have her give us a ride, safer than 2 guys looking, right, 2 o'clock in the morning.
At 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning,
nothing looking safe at that. Let me just interject, because I lived in Wilmington, right? And I had a car when I was 16 years old. So I knew either I come home like at 8 p.m. or I come home at 6 or 7 or 8, not 2.
Yeah.
Because if I come home at 2, I'm running red lights. Like, I got to run red lights. But
and it was one of those nights where it was like, dope is gone, but you still got party left in you. You ain't got no money, so I was on a hope and a prayer. Like I was going to go and come up. So we get there to the Wilmington Projects, and she knew somebody there that jumped in her car and left with her. So now we're stranded. We're stranded in the Wilmington Projects.
No car.
No car. They're active selling dope. And then now I'm having...
Was it 2 guys from Harbor City or you and your friend from Wilmington?
Me and the guy that I met.
From Wilmington?
No, he wasn't from Wilmington.
Okay.
He was from Carson area. Okay. I don't want to say the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And but they were your enemies.
Okay.
And
former.
We don't live like that no more.
Yeah.
So we get there, and I'm asking for the homie from Wilmington.
Yes.
He's not here. No one knows him. And then they started saying, "Who are you and where are you from?"
Oh man, that's always a loaded question. That question right there, where are you from, is such a loaded question. So go ahead.
So now I'm confronted with not wanting to look like a lame, but also not wanting to die.
Right.
So
which is a hard place to be in.
A very hard place to be, and we're on foot, right? So I look at and here's the thing, we talked about that before we got there. I said, hey, listen, we're going there in and out. Don't have no conversation with nobody. We're there for a reason. We're going to dip. So he looked at the other dude as soon as he asked me, and I was just about to tell him, and he looks at the other guy, where you from? And he told him. And he didn't even say nothing. He just turned, walked to somebody else. I said, hey, let's go. And we just started walking. I knew what was coming. We just started walking. And we're looking over our shoulder. No one there. Looking over my shoulder after another 10 feet. The 3rd time I look over my shoulder, I see them coming, and I see something in their hands. So we break and we run. And we're on the corner of Figueroa and Anaheim. I can't remember. I think it was a Texaco back then, right? Gas station. 3 o'clock in the morning. Tweaker dude under the roof of his truck. Loud heavy metal music. And we run up to him. I'm like, hey, guys are chasing us. They're going to kill us. All he probably heard was chasing, kill us. They got guns. He made us lift up our shirts, make sure we didn't have nothing. I'm like, they're coming, right? There's traffic going down Anaheim, so they're trying to maneuver. And he's saving our life.
Wow.
We jump in the back of his truck. He gives us a ride. And because I'm a nickel dime ratchet dope fiend. When we got to the destination, which was the Denny's on Pacific Coast Highway right before Figueroa,
Right.
I robbed him
by the freeway?
by the freeway.
Okay.
I robbed him for his car.
No way, dude. That's scandalous.
That is so
bro.
scandalous.
That
That is scandalous. Like,
That
he
is-
just saved our life,
Right.
and I robbed him for his car.
Yeah, that's low down. That's low down, dirty, sinful. But go ahead.
So we get in the car, and now it's like those moments. You come up, now I have a car.
Now you're on top of the world
Now
again.
I'm on top of the world again, right? And instead of going straight down PCH, I make a right on Vermont because I'm high, right? Because I had done
That's
some
where the projects were, right? Were the
right down
projects still
Vermont.
around?
Projects, yeah. This is 1990. This is 1993.
Oh, this is 1993.
1993.
Right.
I was there for New Year's Eve in Wayside. I got out in February, the very beginning of 1993.
Okay.
And I keep on going down Vermont. I make a left.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay.
19 years old. I make a left on Sepulveda and went down Sepulveda more. And I'm processing, where am I going to go? What am I going to do?
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
Because I'm thinking, come up. I want to get
Right.
high, right? Like, where am I going to sell this car? I'm processing all this stuff because we do that. I can get this much for this. You know what? I don't care. I'll just give it to someone for $200. And when we got to Western and we're crossing Western, there's a police officer coming from that direction. And the individual who was with me, my crime partner, because that's what he ended up becoming, he says, "The cops!" And I saw them rubberneck,
Right.
and they're paying attention to us. Come to find out later in the police report that they recognized the description of a car from a scanner of a carjacking that had just happened. So they get behind us.
So wait up, you're driving, because I've been in a situation like where you're driving and you see the police do a U-turn.
The U-turn.
Right? And at that moment, your heart kind of like, oh, it's about to get real.
As soon as they saw us, I knew it was over.
Okay.
So I was waiting for the first place where I could make a left, and the high-speed pursuit was on. All down Western, even ended up driving against traffic at one point.
Did one cop car?
One cop car.
Okay.
Now, by the time we get to Lomita Boulevard in Western, I can hear other units in the back, in the distance coming. So I'm driving. I already have it in my mind. I need to get to Harbor City Projects if I can, because chances are if I get out and run, they probably won't run into the projects. It had been raining that night.
So you're headed towards the project.
I'm going to the projects. I already have it in my mind. As soon as I start going and I see that they're chasing me, my intelligent mind saying, get to the projects. Maybe they won't chase you inside there. I even went down my family street where I grew up at in case I was never going to be home again, right? Because I knew, like, I'm either going to go to jail or I'm going to get away. There's no gray area.
So at what time did the shooting start? What caused the shooting to start?
So when I hit Bowport and Lomita Boulevard, I went wide left to make a right, and it had been raining that night. And I skidded. Car stalled. It was a stick shift. I put the car in reverse, started it, and started backing up, and the initial officer...
Oh, you started backing up towards the cop car.
Started backing up because I skidded out and I'm facing the corner, and I needed to get back into alignment to go with the traffic. The cop hit the car, and he did that pit maneuver where he hits the car and he's out already.
Yes.
And he's like, "Don't move," and we're saying, "Don't shoot." This individual looks over his shoulder, and by now I can see cops coming from way behind him, and I look to my left and right, I see them coming from this way, and we hear sirens. But before the other officers showed up, he looks to his left, he looks to his right, and he looked at us, he gave us a very harsh explicative, and he started shooting.
Wow. And how many times do you think he shot?
Well, as soon as he shot once, we ducked.
Right.
And I was saying, "Don't shoot." He was saying, "Don't move." He did that. He shot. We ducked. And I just heard his gunshots. But then a couple seconds later, it sounded like Vietnam.
Sounded like Vietnam.
And I'm not even exaggerating.
So other police joined in on it? Is that what you're saying?
Other cops
And I've seen that
up.
like on videos on YouTube where one starts to shoot and then the other ones just, they join in. I guess it's maybe part of their training.
It is part of their training because in that moment, they believe that the officer is justified for why he started discharging his weapon.
Did you jump on the ground?
So I'm ducking. The guy that's with me is ducking.
But where? Where are you ducking? In the car or on the ground? Oh, in the car.
In the car.
Okay.
Now, my mind was actually like covering this guy because I actually was processing that if this guy dies, you're going to get the murder. I'm going to get the murder charge.
Or either one.
And while I'm processing, like, think about this. This is the crazy thing in those moments, how you could actually have that cognizant perception to process stuff that
in the
moment,
right.
In the moment. And I'm feeling, oh my God, I just got hit in my leg.
Oh, you felt the bullets.
I felt a bullet hit my leg. I got hit. What was that? Right? I didn't know that I was already shot in my chest.
Because it happened so fast?
It happened so fast. And
you didn't go, or nothing like that?
No, it hit me in my chest. Bullet split in half, and it came out the top of my neck and flew out. I wasn't aware of this, right? Now, it lasted quite a long time. It seemed like eternity because they were firing.
All the bullets.
Did
they say how many bullets came your way or estimate?
Yes. So in the police report, it said that 4 officers discharged their weapons. Torrance Police Department at that time carried 45s, 9mm, and 357s. So if 4 officers discharged their arms at a minimum of 17 and 1 in the clip, right? They counted 57 holes in the car.
They counted 57 holes. So let's just say minimum 50 bullets came your way on a low ball in it, just for the sake of the story. That which after you get beyond 2 bullets, it doesn't matter. 5, actually, you know what I mean? 50 bullets, right? Is war.
And that's not counting the ones that went through the front window and out the back window.
That's probably equivalent to a mini firefight in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Probably equivalent to a mini. So how many times did you actually get hit in your body?
I got hit a total of 5 times.
5 times. Now, did each one of them move you? So when I got hit, I got shot in my left arm. It flew up.
Right.
And I knew I got hit. I flew up. Did each one of the bullets move you? Like boom, boom, boom?
So, no, I'm thinking that when the officer initially fired, those first couple times I got hit with one of those, adrenaline and movement, I didn't feel that. I felt the one in my leg. Then I felt something else, which ended up, it was in my left buttocks area. My crimey started screaming. And I mean screaming.
Did he get hit too?
He got hit, right?
How many times did he get hit?
He got shot 1 time.
You only got shot 1 time.
So when he got hit and he's screaming, the bullet stopped, and they're saying, if you're alive, put your hands up. They're saying this, and he's screaming and he's screaming. I lift up to say he's hit bad, and to answer your question, bam! I got hit in the face.
You got hit in the face?
I got hit in the face with a 9mm.
With a 9mm.
So as soon as they seen my head come up, they fired. I got hit. My head hit the back window, and I heard it shatter, but my mind told me the bullet flew through my head and shattered the window.
Wow.
So now...
Where'd you get hit on your face?
Right here.
Oh, on your face, right there. That's the mark.
That's the mark right there.
Wow.
And if you think about it, that you want to talk about the grace of God, any other direction, right? It would have killed me.
So let's land this plane, because we're gonna have to get your testimony another time.
Yeah.
But this is a good way into your testimony. Did you feel like you were gonna die?
So you hear about life flashing before your eyes, right?
I've had that happen.
I've actually experienced that, where now, and understand something, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm processing, I just got hit in the face. I thought the bullet flew through my head. And I said to myself, you have literally a couple seconds before you die.
What did you do in that moment?
I'm thinking about my son that I didn't get to see. I'm thinking about the girl that was my girlfriend now that I said that I love. I was wearing her Raiders jacket that she gave me. My mom is going to be devastated. I never wanted to be like this. And I think...
Did you think of God? Did you think of eternity?
I think that in that moment, I was like, God, please. And I'm screaming, right?
Uh-huh. Did you feel blood in your mouth?
Bro, like after, so and while that's going on, I'm not feeling it until after 20 seconds and I'm still alive. I'm running my tongue. I feel blood everywhere. I'm sticking my tongue through the hole in my mouth.
Were you bloody everywhere? Because when I got shot, there was no blood.
Right.
For some reason, I'm thinking the movies, right? But I'm looking when I got shot, there's no blood. I see some meat coming out my arm, but I don't see no blood. But what about you?
So when it all stopped, like, if you're alive, come raise your hand. We raise our hands. They rush up to the window. They say, crawl out of the car. And I started crawling through the window, and they gaffled us up, handcuffed us.
Now, okay, what up? Are you feeling anything or are you numb?
Surprisingly, I'm not feeling nothing except the ringing in my head and the numbness in my face.
Okay, so you're numb. It's adrenaline, 100%.
100%.
Did they take you to the Harbor UCLA hospital?
No, they took me to Bay Harbor right across the street.
Bay Harbor, what is that?
You don't remember Bay Harbor?
I went to Harbor UCLA.
Bay Harbor Hospital was right across the street from Harbor City Park. No, right next to Harbor City Park.
Oh, okay, I think I remember. Was it a small one?
A little small hospital.
I remember that. It was on the right side. If you're running there to the right side, I think I remember that.
If you're going west on Alameda Boulevard, it's right past the park on the right side.
Yeah.
So they took me there. I was inside the ambulance. I asked the cop, I was like, hey, you think there's any way I might be able to go home tonight? Like,
that same night?
Right, I'm asking these stupid questions. Get to the hospital, and doctors come in. They're checking over me, and I was covered in blood. I definitely was covered in blood. But I can see and hear the commotion, and what they do is they send there's a nurse or a doctor there talking to me. She's stroking my head, and I'm telling her, am I going to die?
Wow.
She says, we're going to make sure that we do everything we can, but we need to be calm. I need you to stop moving. You have a bullet injury. We don't know where the bullet's at. So we need you to stop moving. We're going to give you something right now. We need to do what we need to do. And she told me, she goes, we're going to put you under. We need to see where the bullet's at.
Did they have to sedate you?
So they gave me something to put me under.
Did you feel, because when I got shot, I felt like I was on a desert island. I needed water.
Right.
I needed, like, my lips started to dry up, and they didn't want to give me nothing.
I wasn't thinking about anything like that other than I'm not dead yet in my mind, but there's a possibility I could probably die.
Wow.
I'm running this through my mind. So they gave me a chemical that knocked me out, but also neutralized my spine so I wouldn't be able to move. And while they were working on me, I was coming in and out of consciousness, and I can feel that machine breathing for me, and I cannot move.
All right.
And I'm talking about the ugliest feeling that you could ever possibly feel, not being able to move, not being able to breathe, and a tear just went down my eye, and I woke up in the hospital of the 13th floor of USC.
And let's end this part right here, because that is pretty deep. You just heard a deep story. Art Martinez shot 5 times by the police, and you survived by the grace of God. That's what you call the mercy of God. God withholding something by his merciful hand, right? Because you probably deserved death at that time, but his hand spared you. And so you're going to have to catch the other video where we talk about how he gets serious with the Lord. But it's not good news until you hear the bad news, which we just covered in part right now. So share this video and let somebody else be awakened by this story. In Jesus' name, God bless you.